We're celebrating the birth of the incarnation of Jesus Christ, who was widely known through the ages as the Prince of Peace. Yogis of all paths and faiths celebrate Jesus and celebrate peace. Both are so wonderful, both are essential to our understanding of who we are and what life's all about, and how to have a happy, fulfilling life instead of desolation and disturbance, anxiety. So let's just relax with the thought that now and this year we're going to receive and move and live in deep peace. That peace is accessible, that peace is wonderful. And very often people find when they find that they're finally in peace, that was the most important gift they got in life. They finally found peace instead of trauma and stress and frustration and worry, anxiety. Looking at Isaiah 9, "For a child will be born to us, a son will be given to us, and the government will rest upon his shoulders, and his name will be called Wonderful, Counselor, the Mighty God, Eternal Father, and Prince of Peace." Don't you just hear Handel's Messiah ringing out with these beautiful attributes of God? Wonderful, Counselor, Mighty God, Eternal Father, Prince of Peace. Let's go back to this definition. It's so important. I'm going to pick up on the mental emotional side in terms of the definitions. Freedom from disagreement or quarrels, harmony and concord. You have harmony and concord when you're free from disagreements and quarrels. It's important to find the peace that gives this harmony and concord. The fifth definition, you might recall, was you have an undisturbed mind. Usually, people live with disturbed minds, distracted and disturbed. So they have no peace. And they yearn for peace. They don't sometimes understand what they really need is peace. But that's what most people need. An undisturbed state of mind, absence of mental conflict, a state of serenity, calm, tranquility. That's peace. The first definitions were, as you'll recall, I just read them a few minutes ago, freedom from war. There can be different levels of war. War within ourselves, war on the battlefield, war in the quality of life, and war between cultures. We want peace. Freedom from public disorder or disturbance. And how wonderful it is if your neighborhood is free of trouble and trauma and crime. It's so important that we keep at it until all the neighborhoods of the world are in peace, in public security, in law and order. The world has so many troubles. Our personal lives, we have our own set of troubles and anxieties. Our personal lives are often filled with conflicts, worries, and sorrows as a result of loss. We have misunderstandings, and so we don't live in peace. There are shocks in life that last and resound, resonate, until we find peace. Sometimes outrages happen. So, what do? We seek peace. How can we possibly have peace in troubled times. According to our newscasts, we're having troubled times. There are all kinds of troubles everywhere, but also in our cities, in our homes. Jesus came, demonstrated and taught wonderful ways of peace. And I'm going to, let me have a little water here. I'm going to describe several ways of peace, and my thought is, in giving this, my hope is you'll have more peace now and all year long. That's what I'm trying to do. So that's why I'm suggesting several ways that the scriptures and also yoga and psychology to an extent are all making available wonderful ways, and you can pick and choose, and through the practice and application, you got to practice and apply, you can live in peace. My experience of peace that came and stayed was when I was doing solitude and I was just meditating and peace came. I was not seeking peace, I was seeking God, seeking a deeper relationship with Spirit. And as a result of just meditating for a few days in solitude, peace came. And it was so wonderful. And it was just one of the wonderful things that happened in solitude. So there are various ways, but don't make it a mental exercise. Then you'll think you're having peace when your mind's behaving for a while, but it doesn't always behave. And the emotions kick in and disturb the peace of the mind, and both heart and mind are busy suffering. So I'm going to share several, and redundant, yes, but it involves rejoicing. I am saying way more than you need to know about peace, but you need to experience and live in peace. That's a human need, to find it and live in it, instead of fear or sorrow or regret. So here are a few, and then I'm going to say some more from yoga and from psychology, and then I'm going to tell you two main ones. So get ready for lots of ways to test and taste and develop serene peace, abiding peace, a great treasure. Jesus suggested we, instead of living in fear, frustration, and want, that we connect with the creator of this universe and the creator of you and me, and think of God, the creator, as a loving father, and live in that relationship. You're my loving, caring father. And peace will come. Another way is, instead of spiritual ignorance, be open to the reality of God, the presence of God. Just be open to it. In the middle of your conflict, be open instead of ignorant. Be open to God and peace coming in, blessing you, and giving you faith, and a faith in God and God's presence and God's efficacy, God's ability to help. Live in faith that God moves in your life and in your world. Just be open to God as you live instead of suffering. Open. So that's another beautiful way. We got a bunch. Also, Jesus suggested is a weak word. Jesus said, admit your sins. Confess your sins, what you did wrong. That bothers you, harms you, troubles you. Admit your sins. Confess them to God. Admit your misdeeds. Admit your shortcomings instead of hiding them. And Christ will bless you. God will bless you. And you'll live in a state of forgivenness. I've been forgiven. And thus I am free. And thus I can live in peace. Instead of carrying hurts and hates and anger and inner torments, forgive others. And you can have peace. You'll know when you've got peace. You feel wonderful. You feel accord, even if there is none manifest in the world, in your part of the world. You'll feel this harmony going on. And you'll be happy and untroubled. You'll know there'll be a way to solve and deal with all your problems and all your stresses. You're confident because in peace, you're not worried. You're not troubled. You're not anxious. You're in a state of well-being. Another way, instead of loneliness and helplessness and feeling puny, pray. Talk to God. Be in the company of God. Be open to the reality of spirit, this invisible energy and consciousness and love that surrounds you all the time. Be open to God as spirit, but be open also to the ability to relate to that spirit, because you have a soul. You have a spiritual core within you that is the presence of God who is everywhere. The presence of God is within you as soul. So talk to God. Be with God. Ask and it'll be open to you. And knock and that door in that particular area, that door will be opened. Ask and you will receive. Knock and it will be open to you. You know that beautiful passage. So those are some of the main ways that Jesus suggested that God loves you and would like to give you peace. And you could live in peace night and day. You could sleep in peace instead of a troubled sleep. You could go through your days without worrying and feeling loved. And you could be an instrument of peace to a troubled world and to troubled people everywhere and in your neighborhood. Now here are several more ways. You don't need them. But here are several more ways from yoga and psychology that if you like them and you practice them, you will live in peace. You'll know peace is real, and you'll know you have it. You won't be wondering, do I have peace? If you're wondering, you don't have peace. First one, forgive and forgive until the hurt is released. Somebody hurt you badly, so you're not going to be at peace the rest of your life? Forgive and forgive until the hurt is gone. Just keep forgiving over and over again. I give you to God. I'm not going to condemn you. Whatever happened, I forgive it, and I'm confident God is working to deal with that person or that set of persons, and God is working to bring me to forgiveness and peace. There was a phase I went through when several of my friends were visiting one particular psychologist, and they were told they're actually grieving, and to go ahead and feel that grief until it left them. So it would be a few weeks that I would notice my friends just grieving about life and the hard times. And then they would go through their grief and come out in peace. So it was important for me to know what they were doing, because I tried to make them happy or help them be happy. I can't make people be happy. I can help them. I can't make people be enlightened, but I can guide them. And if they go that way, then in their relationship with God, they become enlightened. You could also practice, in addition to forgiving and grieving, Yoga suggests, especially Patanjali, experience life this way. It's for you to learn and it's for you to become free. Just treat your life like a yoga. I'm here every day to learn something. What do you learn each day? And I'm here to be free of various things that bother me, block me, trouble me, hang on to me. And you'll notice as you practice yoga as equivalent to just living your life more consciously, you'll find that you will come into peace through understanding, treating your life as a practice in learning and liberation. Well, you could meditate. Here's another one. When you meditate, you attune, if you do meditation well, you attune with your soul. You go beyond thinking and feeling in the normal way to higher levels of consciousness and experience your core being, which is not worried or troubled. Your core being is already, as you sit here now, it's already in peace. You're already at peace. It's just being aware of it instead of blocking it with all other thoughts and feelings that are not peaceful. So along the way, meditation gives you insight that leads to peace, gives you blessings that lead to peace, and ultimately realization of the peace within you, the peace that is powerful and wonderful and always available. Another yoga practice is release thinking about the past. The future hasn't happened yet, the past is dead. We tend to occupy our minds and feelings with the past and the future, though. So consciously notice when you're in the past, when you're preoccupied by the past. Release that. You just say, that's past, and let go of it. And when you're busy planning and doing all kinds of elegant structures in your mind, say, that's the future, it hasn't happened yet, I wish to live in the now. Just right now. Notice your immediate surroundings, your immediate state, and as a result of working with this very precious technique from yoga, live in the now. You practice until you practice releasing the past and the future. You can think about them anytime you choose, but as far as living, live in the now. A wonderful practice. Another way is called surrender. God says, I will help you with your life. God gave so many assurances in the world scriptures. So give your trouble, whatever you're worried about, to God and say, what do you want me to do about this? I give this to you. Tell me, what is it? What is your loving, kind will? Give the trouble to God. And very often, just by surrendering it, you clearly understand why you have this problem and how peace now will abide. Or you'll understand as a result of giving it to God, God is now working this out, and I'm progressing in a direction of peace. Another one is, see, I said there would be a lot. You could have peace, deeper peace. You could live in ongoing peace. And this is hard for householders to believe because if you're busy maintaining a family and a job and vehicles and a busy lifestyle, it's hard to have peace. And it's all the more important to have peace. But householders, people who are living in society and busy as can be, very often they neglect having peace. They don't let themselves have peace. And if you let yourself have peace, your life is so much sweeter and more wonderful, and you're so much more successful and fulfilled in the view and experience of most yogis. The next one is calmly review everything, your life, with witness consciousness. Don't just think, I'm stuck in this. Witness what your life is going through and what you're thinking and what you're feeling, and just be a witness. There's a place within you called the buddhi, and ultimately it's the soul itself. This witness consciousness gives you a chance to evaluate and make better choices, but also this witness consciousness becomes a beautiful realization of soul, of true self, and of spirit eventually. So calmly review your life with witness consciousness, and you can get so you're even witnessing while you're busy. But I wouldn't drive a car or be working with power equipment and getting spacey. The witness consciousness can make you spacey at first when you're practicing it. So just sit in a chair and witness your life, but also get so you can move around while witnessing you and your behavior and your thoughts and your feelings. So witness consciousness is a way that makes you free of the mind and the emotions and all of their intensity. Just witness it instead of be lost in it. Witness it. So witness consciousness brings you peace, leads you to peace. You know, we say there are 6 fetters, and then I always add jealousy, so let's call it 7 fetters. Instead of, we're moving on to another one here, another way to get peace. Instead of the 7 fetters of anger, fear, guilt, grief, arrogance, prejudice, and jealousy, these tie down the heart and you don't have peace. Any one of these takes out your peace. You will not have peace. You know, peace leads to higher states like bliss and ecstasy and spiritual realization. So peace can be extremely important for your spiritual progress. It's not just an end in itself. It's a beginning into higher states of consciousness that go from peace forward. Let's see. So instead of these fetters, these chains that bind you, anger, fear, guilt, grief, arrogance, prejudice, and jealousy, practice love. Think of loving God and think of God loving you. Focus on love. In back of these fetters of the heart, they're mainly emotional, aren't they? And they drag the thoughts along. But these emotions are not your core emotion. You'll find as you release these fetters in love, you find your heart's true feeling. There is unconditional love always flowing at the heart, at your heart center. It's there already. It's a matter of the fetters preoccupy us. You practice love, just love God and think of God loving you. Love others, love the soul in others. Love other people. Let your loving heart do its thing. Let it express, let it move, let it shine forth, and you'll find peace comes and abides, and then more and more love expresses. So there are so many wonderful ways. I'm now coming to the 2 big ones I was talking about, but aren't those big enough already? Paul says, Apostle Paul, 1 Corinthians 15:30, I protest by rejoicing. I die daily in Jesus Christ my Lord. Yogis think that he's saying, I think of the Lord and have such love for God, and God has such love for me. I get absorbed in spirit. I get absorbed in peace and love and bliss. My ego dies, and I'm absorbed. So what we're saying here is, you go to a 2-hour movie. You forget the 2 hours have passed if it's a good movie. You got absorbed. You listen to a symphony, especially Beethoven's Ninth. You get absorbed. You can't talk. You got tears coming down the sides of your cheeks here, sides of your eyes. Inwardly, it's sorrow usually, and when there's a joyful tearing, it's from the outside of the eye. Have you noticed that? Anyway, experiencing extreme artistry or beauty, experiencing a TV program, you can get absorbed. Even though you know you're sitting in your room and there's a machine there, it's a box, and you're looking at these electrons move in a way that looks like a real picture. We're saying you have a capacity to be absorbed. And very often we're suffering because we're absorbed in our worries or in our why did he say that to me? I mean, what did he mean by that? You know, we can be absorbed by just, I would suggest, take a picture of representation of Jesus and just focus on it with love, let the love flow. If you get absorbed, one of his main attributes of peace will come upon you and fill your face and your eyeballs, your head, your spine, your chest, your bones. You'll just feel peace like a river. Actually, you know, that was probably meant, that song, Peace Like a River, it's probably somebody experiencing peace because it's like a river. It fills you. So this particular way is you just adore and love Christ. And allow yourself to just be absorbed. It's not that hard. People make absorption hard. But very often they lose the sense of time or space when they're absorbed in something that they really like, when they're concentrating or contemplating, you know, or people go to the lake and they feel a sense of peace because they get absorbed in something that is so capable of giving us this essence of peace. So absorption is one of the best ways to have peace out there come into your being, flood into you, but also the peace of your soul expands and emanates through your being. So both peace coming into you and peace already within you expanding. Absorption is a wonderful way, and people say, I can't concentrate. Well, focus on something interesting that has peaceful vibes, but especially focus on Jesus. He represents and gives peace, among other great things, great states of consciousness. So that's one way, one of the main ways I wanted to conclude my talk with. And then there's, I should read my notes. I should stay with my notes. So I'm jumping the gun a little bit here. Whatever way of these many that you take to experience peace, you'll find the Spirit of Christ will move in and live in your heart, and you will be at peace. Reverend Pelletier, a Baptist missionary and friend of the Yoga Center, and our beloved Parvati's father, he was a missionary in Africa, he said, the point of Christianity is to be like Christ. Meditate on Christ, and you become more like Christ. There are spiritual dynamics there. You will be like Christ, the loving, caring Prince of Peace. Okay, now I'm up to date here. Here's another important point. In the view of yoga, the reason most people don't live in peace is their ego, their sense of self is hurting. They've got a damaged, ill ego. By ego, we mean your sense of self. It's your sense of identity. Your ego is who you feel and think you are. So almost everybody who's not at peace and who tries and fails, it's because the ego is still hurting from childhood, often, or a loss or a betrayal. We're in pain. We're wondering, how could you do that to me? How could you betray me like that? Or life is so unfair and so unjust. How could you ignore or neglect me so? God, how could you let this happen to me? Why? Or my little girl was sitting on the couch in our living room and now she's gone. That hurts. My boy was standing in the line outside the restaurant and that driver just drove into him and killed him. It hurts. Our sense of the way life should be is damaged, maybe for life, unless we do something about peace. Unless we think there is an alternative here. I could be living in peace. You said we had a deal, and we shook hands on it, and now, what a terrible thing I'm experiencing because of this, okay? Or, but you said and promised to love me. No peace. Oh, why, God? Why? What an outrage. How dare you? People, events, enemies, loved ones hurt our sense of self. They stomp on it. Maybe they don't even know they did it. Maybe they consciously did it in the competition of life. Anyway, our sense of self is wounded and tormented. And we cannot forget, we're still hurting, we cannot have peace. We're hurting and resent what happened to whom? To me, to me, to mine. It was so unfair, so unjust, so cruel, so thoughtless, so crazy. Our egos are crying out. We're strongly against what happened to us yesterday or years ago. Our egos wanted love, appreciation, and praise, recognition. We wanted good treatment. We wanted better results. We wanted to succeed instead of fail. We had our ideas of how life should go. Deep inside us, we resent what happened, what was said, or just the way it all went down. We're against the way our life is going. We're against the way our life is going. So do we have peace? No. So in yoga we practice, let's not be against. We stop being against. It's called cessation of againstness. As long as you have an against state of heart or mind, peace has to stay away. It cannot move. So as yoga devotees, we stop being against what is happening now or what is happening in the past, what happened to us. I'm no longer resenting what happened. It happened. Yes, it did. I'm moving on. We practice, I'm not going to be against anymore. We stop fighting the past and the present. As our ego stops being against, it becomes more refined, more subtle. Our ego stops agitating and stops hurting. Our ego heals. We got a wounded ego. I mean, there may be very good reasons you have a wounded ego, but that might be why you're not having peace. So is it worth it? You may have very good justification. Life very often gives us a series of lessons that are hard to swallow. As a result of just stop the attitude and practice of being against. You can stand for righteousness, you can be a light, but you don't think, I don't like that, and I don't like that person, and I don't like those people, and I don't like life very often. Some people say, bye-bye, I don't want to live anymore, because they don't have peace. So, as a result of stop being against, stopping being against, our ego will heal. It will take a while because it's a bad habit, being against. But when your ego heals, peace comes. Wonderful peace. You'll think, oh, I've been looking for this all my life. Yogis practice ceasing our state of againstness and our state of being disturbed. As our againstness recedes, in peace we have soul contacts. We feel the presence of God. We're healed. We live in peace. Peace becomes our state. Our mind is untroubled. Our heart feels whole. Our heart has an attitude of well-being, not craving or fearing. The vibration and the energy of peace, the vibration, the energy of peace fills us. It's an actual filling that you feel. It abides in your brain cells, your nervous system, your limbs, your bones, your teeth, your eyes. Peace fills us. Peace like a river. Peace instead of troubles and disturbances. Peace grows and develops into bliss. You begin to have, instead of peace, ecstasy, love, ever new joy. Peace heals and transforms us. We become the person we knew we could be and that we were meant to be. What do we do about our troubled local and international world? In peace, you attune with God and you receive God's guidance in your prayer life and in what charities you practice and what you do to help the world. Don't worry. Let peace help you. And as a result of your peace, you'll be able to be more effective in helping the world in its various problems. In peace and attunement, you find more skill in your actions. You find wisdom and insight. You find creative intelligence. You can create solutions. You can help humanity along with your creativity. You find you have a choice in life again and again. You don't act by impulse or destructive feelings. You have a choice now because you're a person of peace. You find your inner power to change things. You live in faith, confidence, and courage. You generate new causes and you have new effects. You find you have enthusiasm for being alive and being you. It's wonderful. What a gift. You have zest for life. You love the gift of life. As Sri Ramakrishna says, we become God's partner in furthering creation. We help bring justice and compassion and righteousness into our community and into the world. As we pray every day at noon, we say, "Beloved Lord, bless us to love one another, person to person, nation to nation, race to race, religion to religion, and sect to sect." We mean it. We share God's peace. So, my friend, if I may call you friend, I probably can. Whoever you are, may you have peace. May peace be real to you, and may it not be momentary or temporary. A lot of people take up drugs and alcohol because they don't have peace. A lot of people are self-destructive or have bad temper because they have not found peace. We're meant to have peace. We carry it already. So here at Christmas time, we honor and celebrate the life of Jesus who showed humanity the way of peace. The Prince of Peace, Jesus Christ. I wish you a Merry Christmas, and I wish you a life in the consciousness and the love of God and in the peace that that brings. God be with you.